Live on Facebook. Alrighty, so I am going to be talking about traveling and healing the body and spirit. Copy, paste, share on my timeline, go live. This meeting is being live streamed. Okay. Hi, so I got I wrote a post a few years back about traveling through Bali, Indonesia, and I did a bunch of healing work. I had uterine fibroids, and you know, a woman read the article and she wrote me and asked about my experience with healing in Bali, Indonesia. So I have a lot of mental stuff. I have a lot of memories. I have a lot of opinions, a lot of insight. I went to Elizabeth Gilbert's healer and in the center of the of Bali, and I went to a bunch of healers in the far reaches of Bali, and I had a lot of really, really good experiences. I would say there were good experiences overall. Did any of those, was there anything that cured my fibroids? No. The only thing that cured my fibroids was a hysterectomy. What can you do? I was bleeding to death. I was bleeding to death, literally, passing out from so much fucking blood loss. So yeah, hysterectomy. Now, do I regret doing any of those healings? No, not at all. And I guess this is the point of my video right now. Sorry, I want to just, I realize that I should probably just keep that open. Okay, sorry. So here's the point that I want to make. Physical dis-ease is not always about just getting the cure. Of course, if you have physical dis-ease, you need to address that in the way that you want to, whether it's with Western medicine and pills and surgery. I'm not going to criticize anybody for doing those things. I appreciate Western medicine. I appreciate Western medicine most of all after I have checked in with my spirit and listened to what my soul and my spirit say before I go and listen to what a Western doctor says. Now, if I fall down and I break my arm, bet your ass I'm gonna be like, Spirit, we're going to the hospital right now, and I'm gonna get as many pain pills as I can get in me as soon as possible, and we're gonna get this set, okay? That's where I am. You might have a different way of handling that, okay? But that's where I am. But things that are occurring inside my body, when I had uterine fibroids, I had them, the first set developed when I was, were detected when I was 23 years old. And I had a myomectomy a few years later. When they did that myomectomy, they pulled out 7 pounds of tumors. 7 pounds of tumors. That's a lot of tumors, okay? And when they did the myomectomy, they're like, okay, these could come back. And I'm like, all right, well, we did the best we could. I had to get rid of the 7 pounds of tumors, okay, because I was bleeding to death. And then I had another myomectomy a few years later. They said, look, this is the last myomectomy that you can have. And they pulled out 21 tumors, okay? They weren't, I don't know how much they weighed, but there were 21 of them. They took a picture and they lined them up, okay? Boom. And eventually I had to have a hysterectomy. And the hysterectomy, when they pulled my uterus out, it was a mess. It was just a freaking mess. And I've got pictures, and they're the best pictures. I hold on to them. I cherish them because, look, Western medicine is really, really cool, okay? I know that I'm spiritual and I'm supposed to be like above Western medicine, but I'm so not. I'm so appreciative of Western medicine. And at the same time, there was an option back in when I first got when I was first, when the fibroids were first detected, they were like, you should probably have a hysterectomy, right? Because I had the 7 pounds of tumors. They're like, your uterus is pretty jacked up already. If you're going to have kids, you need to have a kid right away. And if you're not going to have kids, you might want to just consider having a hysterectomy. And I didn't want to do that because my spirit said, don't do that. And why did my spirit say, don't do that? Well, my spirit was like, my spirit said, there's a reason why why your uterus is building up these tumors. Your job is to figure out why. And if you can get and I thought that if I could get my head around why and heal the reason why, I thought I would save my uterus. And so I partially worked on healing by becoming vegan. I was vegan for a couple of years and really refined my diet and my eating, lived a whole foods lifestyle. Sorry, I was not vegan for 2 years. I was vegan for 1 year, but I ate whole foods. Well, and I've been doing whole foods kind of now for 10 years, longer than that. I've been doing a whole foods. I got into the whole food lifestyle, but I was omnivorous for most of that. In 2007, I would say. So for that time, I've mostly been whole foods, okay? And to me, that was not necessarily I didn't notice any improvement in my uterine fibroids by changing my diet. I did cut back on the estrogen. I don't know, but I still had huge fibroids. If I showed you maybe I'll post the pictures. If you want to see my pictures of my uterus with the fibroids, I'm more than happy to. I'll show you those privately. I don't want to share them publicly because it's kind of gross. And Facebook would probably take that off. But my point is that like nothing changed the fibroids. This was an issue of my mind. I know it was an issue of my mind because, and it's not that, how do I say this? Now I understand the issue with my mind, but I have now I know what the issue is in my mind, but I have no way to prove that because I have no uterus to show that I don't have fibroids, okay? Boom. So maybe that's the solution. Maybe that was the way the wake-up call. The wake-up call was, get this mindset and then get your uterus removed. That's how you get rid of the fibroids, okay? That's not really satisfactory to me as a spiritualist. I want to know that there's a mind-body connection. I want these two things linked, okay? But here's the thing. My mental state needed a hell of a lot of work. There was so much unworthiness inside me. There was so much self-loathing, self-hatred that was going on inside my mind that, of course, I had uterine fibroids. I'm lucky that I didn't have something even worse. But the rate at which those fibroids grew and the intensity of them and the rate at which I was losing blood, which is, you know, your vital life force energy, right? Your plasma, your life force was constantly just being given away, just shed every single day, right? So my point, and this is going back to Ode's question that she asked on my blog about the healing journey. The only solution, the only mental solution was for me to deal with my unworthiness. And the, excuse me, God, this is complicated, because what I really want to say is enjoy your healing journey. That's what I want to say. Go to the doctors if you feel called to. Let the doctors help you. Always check in with spirit before, during, and after every doctor appointment. Always use your intuition when you're dealing with your physical body, your health, and you're dealing with medical doctors. Medical doctors are really, really good at what they do. But what they are doing and what they're trained to do is not necessarily aligned with you and your own soul. But if your physical body needs doctoring, use your intuition and let God guide you to the right doctors, okay? Very often though, and see, this is where it gets really complicated, because very often people go to the doctor and then they try to make that doctor be the thing that they want that doctor to be. My response to that is, you and that doctor are a vibrational match. You need to understand why you were led to that doctor. If that doctor is not able to talk to you in a way that resonates with your soul, that's a part of your healing journey. And so, does that make sense? I hope it does. That's my response. Healing is a process, it's a journey. For me, it always begins inside. Even when I was making the decision to go in for the hysterectomy, the conversation was, God, I'm going in for a hysterectomy. How do you feel about this? And there were mixed reviews as I was going in. There was one voice inside me that was saying, if you would let me take you to the very, very end, we could reverse all of this. There was a voice in me that said that, like, don't go in for the hysterectomy. It's better for you to go all the way to the end than to have a hysterectomy. There was a voice that said that in my head. And I, because I'm a human, I have free will, I have the right to not listen to that voice, okay? And so I said, you know, I really appreciate that, but I think I'm tired of this journey. And I want to grow, I want to learn, but I'm going to go ahead and have that hysterectomy, and I'm going to do it knowing that I've been dealing with this in a very real, in a very soulful way for the last 20 years, okay? And the response to that was, okay, that's fine. And I went and I had that hysterectomy and I felt so good. Oh my God. They kept my ovaries, so I have my hormones. Had past tense, okay, because even with your ovaries, you can only go on only go on so much, like they can only do so much, your ovaries. So what I had to do was just but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process, okay? I enjoyed having my ovaries and because please understand that, and I hate to be going on about this, but you have to understand that I was one of those women who literally was in the bathroom changing out the stuff every 15, 20 minutes. That went on into the night. I could not sleep at night. Because I was constantly every 15, 20 minutes into the bathroom. There were times when I literally had to have blood transfusions because I was so devastatingly anemic. So I did all the things, is what I'm saying. And I don't regret any of that. None of it. I was running marathons, okay? And I was highly anemic, but I was just, all in spirit. Okay, so spirit's like, oh yeah, we're going to keep your energy level up, even though you're super anemic. Okay, we're going to let you run that marathon. We're going to let you do this, but still, there were all these things that were happening. These other problems that were coming along. So I got the hysterectomy, and all of a sudden, I was really, really free. I felt really, really good, and that was my reward: freedom. Okay, now where am I? Deeper dive into the healing, because the healing is still going on. I didn't finish with unworthiness. I think I might be now finished with unworthiness. I think something has changed in me within the last year. Deeper and deeper dives, but something has awakened inside me, and I'm a very different person than I was even last year. There are a lot of choices that I made to own myself. And that's what I'm working with my people in my programs. It's about really like understanding the truth of who we are, and now stepping into that woman or that man, okay, or that they, that person, okay. And again, the healing journey is about a journey. Do you ever arrive at a destination? I think that I will arrive at the healed destination when I'm dead. So I'm not really trying to get to death, but I'm happy that I've arrived at a place where I love myself. Like that loathing and that pain, I don't do that anymore. Like that doesn't exist for me anymore. I don't abuse myself. I don't harm myself. I take really good care of myself inside and out. And my relationship with God has expanded incredibly, like so much love and integrity and trust. Like there's real trust. So am I healed? Sure, I'm as healed as I'm gonna get, like I'm doing relationships, I'm doing sex, I'm doing proper eating, I'm doing, I'm loving my hair. Like I lived my whole life hating my hair, running away from my hair, running away from me as a woman. And now I'm kind of like running to me, running to my hair, running to my being. So am I healed? I don't know. Do I feel good? Yeah. Are things going my way? Yeah. Am I okay with where I am? Yeah. Like, yeah. So that, I think, is the ultimate answer to the question. When you enjoy your healing journey, and see if you can find a lot of yes for yourself, you know, a lot of love for yourself along the way, right? Because while I was in Bali, and you know, I was doing the herbs and they were rubbing me down with herbs, and I was taking the herbs and eating the weird food and doing all the things. And when I was in India, nobody ever asks me about my healing in India. Oh my God, the healing in India was a trip as well. Going into all these temples and praying with these Hindu gods, and you know, feeding them, feeding the statues, feeding the cows, feeding the dogs, you know, feeding the monkeys so that I can gain favor in the eyes of the gods. I did some stuff. Okay. I did some things. I've done some things. And it was all so good. So I want you to go on your healing journey and follow it. Let it take you wherever it's going to go. You know, don't be mad at the relationships you have. It's a part of the healing journey. You know, if you find yourself like me, broke in Bali, like, you know, you ran out of money in Bali, and Balinese people are like, you're American, you're rich. You're like, what? I'm broke. Bali, and I'm broke, you know, and people are looking at you like, how can that even be? You're American. I'm like, oh, I'm I'm me. That's the problem, you know? So anyway, all that stuff though is a part of the adventure. And I don't want to say that it was fun, but it was. I mean, I don't want to say that being broke in Bali is fun, but gosh darn it, it's a good story, man. It's a good story. It's a good story, and it was fun. And in India, I showed up at this ashram in India, and they, you know, I'm American. They're like, okay, here's, you know, you can go and get one of these really nice rooms. I'm like, yeah, I can't afford that. They're like, it's 25 rupees a day. And I'm like, yeah, no, I need to go down here in this room down here. I had to go and be in a room with mice. They were cute mice, by the way, but they were in all the cupboards. There were ticks. There was a crack in the wall and the ceiling. And all of a sudden, out of the crack came, I don't know, 1,000 ants, so that all of a sudden the yellow wall turned black. And then I went and blew on the, I went and blew on the ants. And then they all started scurrying, and then they all ran back into the crack. And it was as if they had never been there. Oh my God. There were monkeys outside the wind, outside the my window, and I had dogs. It was just, oh God. Yes, you need to follow your journey. If follow your healing journey. Don't take the easy route, okay? Please listen to your doctor. Do what your doctor says, okay? Listen to your doctor, but listen to your intuition too. And if you can get away with it without dying, without harming yourself, then by golly, follow your intuition. All right. I'm having such a good time remembering the good old days. Oh my God, India. And then there was France. I had a healing adventure in France. It was a trip, man. It was a trip. Okay. I've been going on. All right. I'm going to go ahead. Oh gosh, I haven't even checked in on the live on Facebook. Let me see if anybody is here with me. Who's here with me on Facebook Live? Oh, Gloria. Gloria chimes in and she says, love you. I was broken, TJ. Ooh, Gloria, that's just about as good as being broke in Bali. Okay. Let me tell you. Yes. Okay. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and sign off because it's now 8:30 here. My bedtime is 8 o'clock because I get up at 4 o'clock. So I need to go to bed. Karen says, love ya. And Gloria says, ha, ha, ha. Thanks for joining me tonight, ladies. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get myself some rest. And I look forward, Karen, hopefully I'm going to see you tomorrow. All right. And Gloria, I'll see you next week. I know we're on. All right, my loves, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I've already had, hey, it's 8:30 p.m. in France right now. Apollo and I spent the day walking through the Bois de Vincennes, and then we went into the town, and I had myself a galette and a glass of wine, and then I splurged and had a little bit of sugar. I had a pain au chocolat, and that was delicious, especially when you don't have sugar and then you go and you have just a little bit. I didn't know that that was magical. Hmm. All right, she's signing off. Bye for now. Thank you, Dawn. Nice to see you too, Dawn. Bye.